I think this is the funniest comment I've had on my TikTok in a very, very long time. Let's talk about this because I feel like you need a history refresher, and that's okay. It was the Democrats who were responsible for the Triple K, Democrats who were responsible for the Jim Crow laws, Democrats who were responsible for slavery and slavery in the South. Okay. And it was Republicans who were responsible for ending slavery, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, giving black people the right to vote, and making black people 4/4 of a person again. That was Republicans who signed every single amendment that benefited people of color. Actually, let's take it a step further. At the time, your previous president, who was a Democrat, Andrew Johnson, was very, very against signing the 13th Amendment. He didn't want black people to have any rights whatsoever. He was a Democrat, and it was the Republicans in the Senate that got all of the laws passed, despite his rhetoric. So that's history, okay? Let's talk about present. It was the Democratic Party, Clinton, Obama, Biden, etc., who locked up thousands of black people in this country for misdemeanor level crimes, and then they got federal criminal sentences. You do realize that, right? Marijuana charges, 15 to 20 years in prison, people of color are facing in our country. That was signed in by Democrats. It's called the 94 Crime Bill. You want to know who overturned the 94 Crime Bill firsthand? Donald Trump. And since he overturned the 94 Crime Bill with the First Step Act, over 25,000 black men have been freed from prison. And kind of going on that theme, right? 94 Crime Bill said that after a black person has a felony, they can't get an education. Who overturned that? Trump, with his Second Step Act. So now black people who have done time can apply for a Pell Grant and go get an education. You can say thank you when you're ready. Lowest unemployment rate in 70 years. Trump. Highest wages we've seen in all people of all races and ethnicities. Trump. Highest median household income we've had since 1967. Trump. That includes for people of color. For people of color, wages were 10 times higher than they are now under Biden-Harris. Who was the president in US history that funded HBCUs with the most amount of money we've ever seen in this country? Trump. Who relieved HBCUs the highest number they've ever been pardoned of federal debt because of natural disasters? Trump. Pardoned them of $300 million from damages of natural disasters. Who put Jennifer Hudson in his hotel for 6 months? 6 months when her family got slaughtered without ever asking her for a dime? Trump. Who went to court every single day with Michael Jackson when he was under trial? Trump. Who sent his personal jet to go get Nelson Mandela out of prison? Trump. Who got Alice Johnson out of prison? Trump. And then in turn, freed over 200 people in the same jail that Alice Johnson said were good people and didn't deserve to be locked up anymore? Trump. Who gave Jesse Jackson over $1 million to get activated in the black community? Trump. There was a black woman, I forget her name, she's lovely, and she was put in jail for dumb offenses. She should have gotten like maybe 6 to 12 months, and she was locked up. She was pregnant in jail, and the jail made her give birth handcuffed to her bed like an animal. You want to know who pardoned her? Trump. And you want to know who, after he pardoned her, heard her story, and then signed it into law that it was illegal for jails to make women give birth handcuffed to their bed? Trump. And saying he's only for rich people is also insane. Also insane. Highest middle class tax cut we've ever seen in the history of this country. Trump. 2017 Tax Cut and Jobs Act. And you want to know what that did? Remember how I mentioned the median household income being the highest it's been since 1967? That was because of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. We hit a record-breaking almost $90,000 on average per household. Highest it's been since 1967 because of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. And when you say fascist, that's really interesting to me because by definition, fascism is someone who's pretty much against democracy, just wants all of the power, basically dictatorship. Wouldn't Trump be more for democracy considering he's passed many laws down to the states to where the citizens of the states can vote on the matter? You have more power instead of one big law just sitting in the federal government's hands for anyone, anytime to come and overturn it. Doesn't passing laws down to the states give your state more power because you can go out and vote seasonally and in the midterms? And wouldn't Kamala be a little bit more of a fascist because she wasn't in the primaries? She got 0 votes in the primaries. Her name wasn't on the ballot. It was Joe Biden's name who was on the ballot. No one knew they were voting for her when they voted Democrat. She wasn't voted on. She was placed. That is fact. So wouldn't people not having a choice in voting for her and the government just placing her, unbeknownst to us, Wouldn't that be fascism? Wouldn't that be dictatorship? Huh. I think you're the one that needs to wake up, Marie. Because I don't think you knew any of this. And I feel sad for you because these are important lessons in history that you seem to just not know because you're too busy reading Forbes.com. I'm reading Congress.gov. We are not the same.